Today, we're going to be talking about business security. We're specifically going to be talking about premises security, both inside and out. And we're going to have a special guest. So stick with us and learn some great tips on what to do about securing your building, both inside and out. This is Randy Kirk with Small Business Daily. And today I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Frank Wui. Hi, Frank. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Randy, thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Frank has, and a group of his friends, I think right out of college, if I remember right, started a little AI business. And who knew it would become international? So, Frank, you're like all over the place with this camera AI business. How many countries and places? Where are you guys now?
Man, we got 18 offices globally. And our product has been in over 100 countries in the world.
Wow, that's just amazing. And you were telling me a while back that there's some government issues with regard to some of this AI to where you guys qualify to put your cameras in places or your AI in places that other people can't go.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is how you're going to protect the data that you captured and make sure it was not exposed for those ransomware, for that virus attack. And based on the US federal government, they released in 2017, they updated the National Defense Authorization Act. They listed a specific requirements, how you're gonna protect your data, including the videos for the cybersecurity purposes. And there's like a blacklist about 78 different companies from different regions. NUUO, we're fortunate enough because we did our due diligence work, and we make sure we're always using. For example, all our system has two network ports. We make sure whatever your camera videos are recording in one port, that would not go to the other ports, which is connecting to a router to the internet. We always do that physical separation. Meantime, we also fully compliance with the European Union GDPR compliances. Like right now, we already implemented the dual factor authentication methods into our all systems. So just like you're a bank, right? Before you can log into your banks, now they're going to send you the code, like one-time code to your email address. We implemented it into our system as well.
I see. Well, that puts you guys at a competitive advantage, I guess, especially when you're going for the government type contracts or people like doctors, medical facilities and whatnot.
Yeah, HIPAA compliance.
Yeah, with all the kind of compliance issues. But this will also be a benefit to any company, right? That they're not going to get hacked.
Oh yeah, you have no idea, like the ransomware, I believe just 2 months ago, that the oil pipes company in the East Coast, they just have to shut down for 2 days or more, and they have to pay those ransomware by Bitcoin. That just it's no longer like a regional events, right? Remember, Randy, we're both in California. 2 months ago, suddenly you see our oil price just goes up 20% within that period of time, because that oil company just couldn't transport any oils to those needed areas. So I think, to protect yourself and your company, now is more important than ever.
Yeah. Now, my understanding too is that we've been using security cameras for a couple of generations now to protect our external premises on warehouses and manufacturing facilities and even retail stores and banks and things of that nature. Plus inside, we've been using in retail stores and whatnot. But artificial intelligence provides some real benefits, right? I mean, this is like with everything else that artificial intelligence is doing, this steps up the whole process. Tell us a little bit about why AI works so great with security.
The first of all is if we're looking at a security system, let me ask you, Randy, if you got a security cameras, how often are you going to review the footage? Are you going to check on daily?
No,
probably not, right? Because you probably only check when something happened, right? So that videos is keep recording inside your recorders, but you just don't have a chance to check it out. And by the time you're going to need it, you're probably going to spend a lot of time trying to find out when exactly that event happens. That's another issue because, for example, my car parked in the parking lots over the weekend, and Monday when I about to go to work, I found out one of my windows just got broken. So all you have to do is just have to review that past 48 hours footage. So those are the key issues that we keep having is how we can find those videos efficiently when we need it. The second thing is, I'm not going to watch it every single day. When something happened, can I make sure that's the valid events that I need to check? It's not false alarm. It's not like some squirrel, some rabbits just passing over and I have to check it every single time. And that's really the AI can help because AI is very good at checking the repetitive things and start using the deep learning technology to create the patterns. And now the AI will tells you when people or vehicles show up, you get alerts. Nothing else. Not trees moving, not rabbits, not coyote, just the things that you care about. And I can give you a perfect example. I was just meeting with a customer of ours. They just opened up a 600,000 square feet warehouse in Texas. We do nationwide installation and services for their companies, and we're just checking on their floor plan. And what happened was in Texas, they're just not like in California, like we have fences across our warehouses. So you only got one entrance where you can have a security guard over there. But in Texas, it's all open areas. They're just landscape. There's no fences at all. So when we discuss what's the best way to protect your property, if we're putting like a security guards with a guard shack with the gates at an entrance, it doesn't mean anything because all the other areas are open areas. So what's the best way to protect it? And by the end of the day, we found out the AI can really help them to solve the issues because now we're installing your cameras looking at the premises, right? Looking at those open areas. Within that video, you actually can select the areas of interest. So looking at those open areas, you select the regions where you want to get notified. And second thing is we implement that deep learning technology that when people and vehicles show up at those designated areas, then they get alerts. So that's what we call the virtual fence. Instead of spending hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to build out the physical fences, now you're using the cameras with AI technology to build a virtual fence for that specific location. You can work on it anywhere, any places that you don't want to really build out the fences or, like build a wall, that just a lot of times, just try to get a permit right now, probably take 3 to 6 months. But now with this AI technology, you get their security immediately with that AI software.
Yeah, and so you can use this AI in many different ways for this perimeter type security. What about for inside a retail store? How does it benefit you if you have your security set up in your retail environment or even in a wholesale warehouse when it's inside and you're trying to find out what's going on?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. It's all about integration. Like Randy just mentioned, 3 of our founders were all graduated from computer science departments. It's actually from National Taiwan University. That's the #1 university in Taiwan. You guys probably heard about like TSMC or the chipset manufacturers. This is the top university. They just basically founded TSMC. What we did over there is we developed the software that we can implement it, the third-party devices into our platform. So for example, retail, we integrated with a point-of-sale system. So one of the application is that every transactions that was superimposed, the transaction data was superimposed off the videos looking at that the point of sale. So for example, you say, hey, I want to find out whenever there's a no sales, because in retail shop, no sales and employee discount are just the 2 top reasons that the customer, the store manager will just, lose something. You're my friend, give you an employee discount. You're my friend, I can give you a no sale, so you get a product out. So I can go ahead, select a specific period of time. I would just say I want to get no sale and employee discount. When I type in these two keywords, the system will automatically bring out every single transaction when no sales and employee discount is happening with the videos associated with it. So now you actually get alerts, right? And you will be able to review, hey, is that really the person, is that our employee or just somebody's friend? So that will help tremendously to reduce the shrinkage of the retail store. On the other hand, the AI technology with the facial recognition technology now will become an operation efficiency tools, not just for security anymore. Because now you will be able to use the data that looking at the supermarket, the shopping mall, using those data because you already have it. Like I mentioned, how often you're going to watch those videos. If you don't watch it over 2 weeks, over 30 days, that data will be gone, will be rewritten for the next 30 days. So what right now you can do is now you can learn more about your customers, right? Because it tells you the gender, the age group, the demographics of the customers coming in. And once they're coming into your store, what's their pattern? They tend to turn right more. How many percent of the customer will turn left? What are those hot zones, that areas that people tend to stay there more longer than the other locations, which means that product might be getting a lot more interest than the others. So now it's part of the business intelligence data to help the business owners make better marketing plan, to make better promotion the period of time. It's just now helping increase their bottom line.
That's extremely cool. So, and then what about in the warehouse environment? What I one time I was on vacation in Europe, and I got a phone call from home, and they said one of your employees last night stole a bunch of stuff on third shift and put it. We found out about it. Do you want to arrest him? And I said, absolutely. But how do we find out about that employee potentially removing product when they shouldn't be before they get out of the building and have it in their car and drive away?
Yeah, that's happens a lot for sure. There in a warehouse environment, it's really about how to protect the valuable items inside the warehouse, right? So we used a different AI technology. One of the technologies to actually find those, like for example, forklifts, right? Since our AI it's a deep learning technology-backed technology. So you actually can train the videos, train the AI to learn the objects inside the videos. What are those most important things for you? So there's an application for our customers. They're doing the big logistic warehousing. They have probably about 20 forklifts across their 300,000 square feet warehouses. The operation manager is just having difficulty to keep on track with those 20 forklifts. Somebody use it and there's no power at all. They just live over there. They're not bringing them back to get charged. Always short of some forklift. So what we did is we actually trained the AI to learn what's the size and how the forklift look like. And once you start be able to identify it, every single time when there's a forklift was putting in the warehouses and it's over 5 minutes or 10 minutes, there's a timer you can set up. They're not moving. They send alerts to the operation manager. So now you will be able to find immediately where are those idle or those non-used forklift. And that's one thing you can definitely use AI to train on. That's about the product that the product or the objects that you can train the AI to learn to recognize it. The other technology we have is called tracking, the tracking technology. So basically, just like iPhone now, Apple just launched like where to find your iPhone, where to find your wallets with some tracking devices, right? You can put in the back of your wallet or put in the back of your ID. we have that technology you can use in the warehouse as well, but we're using the Wi-Fi to track it because it's not easy for you to have the Bluetooth technology deployed throughout the 300,000 square feet warehouse. But what we did is we put the beacon, what we call the NUUO tracker, that for those very high value items, for example, the company card, for example, some the products that probably cost the company like over $1,000. And now those beacon will keep sending the signals to tell where I am, and that will show up in their centralized software with the EMAP located. So you can find exactly where they are.
How about that? And this stuff, the kinds of implementation of both cameras and also the software into these environments is probably a lot less expensive than people think. I know when you tell me, some of these setups that you're doing, and it's only thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, it's not hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, it sounds to me like it's extremely affordable and almost crazy not to do it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people, they just don't realize a lot of their existing systems is consist of different parts, right? What NUUO can do is we will try our best, because our software background, we will try to make the integration works to use your existing infrastructure. In the US, we all know the labor is not cheap. So if you already got the labor, you already got your cabling, your infrastructure there, you better use it, right? The most costly item is usually not the technology itself; it's just the labor to get the people to rent a forklift, to rent a scissor lift, to rent those costs are just one-time costs. So what we did is we actually can use their existing infrastructure, including your cameras, right? That's what the software does. The software will write an integration device pack to make sure it's compatible with your existing cameras. So by the end of the day, when you implement this technology, the cabling are there. First of all, definitely the camera has to show you the video, right? If the camera doesn't show you the video, that means you have to replace it. But if you already can see the video with your cameras, with your cabling, all we have to do is just change your back end, including your storage, including your service and the software. That reduces the cost at least 60% or more. And that's most of the customer, the sites, they already got some cameras there, but they just don't use them well. And that's why we're coming in place. We identify what are the existing infrastructure and technology we can use, and we just enhance them. And I think that's going to work out well in terms of the budgeting and just help the customer make it work.
So if I'm a retailer and I've got kind of a standard, 3,000 square foot retail environment, and I want to put in and I don't have any cameras at all, is it going to cost me 10 grand, 5 grand? I mean, I know you don't know because everyone is going to be different, but is it going to be under 10,000 usually to set up somebody in a retail store that has nothing? They're starting from scratch.
Like you say, it really depends, but I can really make it work under 10 grand if we get in early. Let me give you a perfect example. If we get into this project early, it's a brand new build out. If we can come in before you put out the drywall, we'll do our the cabling, the infrastructure before you put on drywall. So we come in for 1 day, and we're putting all the cables at the designated locations for the cameras or the Wi-Fi, the phone system. We do not just camera, by the way, we do the whole IT system. Then by the time you close the drywall, you're about to open, we come in to put the cameras on. I can make sure that cost will be less than 10 grand because we save the labor, remember?
Right.
If you bring me in after the drywall is on, after everything's ready, you say, hey, Frank, I need to get this work next. This store has to be open next week, but can you come in on weekend? Unfortunately, I have to get overtime. Unfortunately, I have to start drill the wall, trying to, put in the cables, try to find where exactly those IT rooms. unfortunately, that's going to increase the cost. So my best advice is always to get your IT specialist, the IT company, get involved early. A lot of people, when they think about building a new construction, they say, oh, I need to get GC. I need to get electrical done, because that's what the city requires, right? You need to submit a plan to get approved. But you just overlook the importance of the IT infrastructure. I got a customer right now. They didn't call us until they got a warehouse working. But then when they're about to start a business, just 2 weeks, just less than 2 weeks, they say, oh my God, where's my internet? they start calling, and you just found out, oh my gosh, for their business, they're doing e-commerce business, right? So they need a very fast internet. So the only way to bring in is bring them the fiber, okay? And they call in Spectrum, they call in AT&T, go Cox. Okay, finally they decided they work with us because we're the enterprise agent for those companies. And we got in the Spectrum, and turn out it takes them 3 to 6 months to get the permits to bring the fibers into the building.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? You're e-commerce, right? So you have to get fast internet. But they never think about it before they build out the building. They say, hey, I got electricity, I got lighting, I'm ready to go. Oh, where's my internet? And without internet, there will be no Wi-Fi, no phone system, no security cameras for you to view remotely. And now it's just IT just becoming that so important parts of your business. You just cannot have it.
I can actually remember moving a facility. I want to say this would have been 15 years ago. And I was moving from one 25,000 square foot warehouse into a new one. And I can remember that even 15, 16 years ago, how we laid out all of that, not just the electrical, but the phones, the internet. I mean, everything was all laid out way in advance. I'm surprised that somebody would make that error today, but I get it. I understand it. And they're going to save a lot of money if they do the planning in advance.
Yeah, and we'll love to work with GC. We know how to deal with the construction, right? We will work on their schedule. We know their language. We actually, our design team will create a one-line drawing just to make sure we can work closely with the GC and electrical contract. So you don't have to worry about anything related to IT and low voltage. I think that's the best value we can bring in. And by the end of the day, that's where the 10 grand, you can just get it done if you're getting early.
Yeah. Frank, this has been fascinating. And I know we've done a couple of earlier videos, and I'm going to link those in the description below. And I think, everybody is very security conscious today. But I think a lot of people just don't realize how artificial intelligence is changing the game. And I'm going to certainly suggest that everybody listen to this, get in touch with Frank. He may be able to save you money, save you time, make your system more efficient, and catch the bad guys, but also make your entire operation more efficient. So thanks for coming today, Frank, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Randy, for inviting me. It's good to have you here.
This is Randy Kirk with Small Business Daily. We'll see you tomorrow.